What's up, it's Robert from Existence First, and today I'm going to talk about giving out your energy. So I was on Facebook the other day, and I got a friend's suggestion, right? Facebook thinks I know this person, and I did. It was a person I haven't even talked to in over 12 years, but someone I used to work with. And what struck me was in this profile photo, the person just had this look in their eyes of just tiredness, kind of like a burnout sort of appearance. And who knows exactly what was the case, but nonetheless, even if I'm wrong, it still serves as an example because you can think of people in your life that you know who have burned out by working too hard. I wonder to what extent these individuals are being driven by some sort of lack or a need for approval. Sometimes it is approval seeking, and I can speak firsthand after having been trained and conditioned throughout all of formal education to want that A+ from the teacher. And so while I might not really even care about the topic, I would write an essay the way that I thought the teacher wanted me to write it, and I would do it just to please. And there's an important subtlety here, which is it's okay to do the essay in order to get a certain reaction from the teacher as a practice, like as an art. But when we do it in order to get the A+ from the teacher, in order to get that approval, in order to feel good about ourselves, now we are actually not causing things in the world. We are being the effect. Our insecurities then are the agents of cause because they're causing effects in our behavior. Like with anything with pleasure and pain, we start to adjust in order to relieve, for the short term, that pain or to obtain that pleasure. Here's a metaphorical example. You're walking down the street, there's a pebble in your left shoe. Let's just suppose you don't really understand what a pebble in the shoe means or that there's this cause to it, and so you just start to favor the right foot. But as you walk, there's this asymmetry to your walk, and so you're going like this, favoring that right foot, and after a while it becomes a habit to the point where if that pebble is to fall out of your left shoe, you still walk like this. And I think the same thing happens when it comes to our psychology. One way to classify this comes from the book Eastern Body, Western Mind. And the author, Anodea Judith, is, according to the back of the book, a leading authority on the integration of chakras and therapeutic issues. Look at this chart of what she calls body armor. There's different types of body armor where there's a blockage in a certain chakra. And because of that blockage, the energy is not flowing and it can show up physically in the way that the person carries their body. Similar example, and it's somewhat metaphorical, somewhat literal, is that I heard about some sort of experiment where there's a public speaker, but every member of the audience was in on the experiment, but not the speaker. And what the audience was told was that every time the speaker went to a specific part of the stage, the audience was supposed to perk up, smile, listen, make eye contact. And by the end of the speech, the presenter was spending virtually all their time on that far part of the stage where they were getting positive reactions from the audience. But the point here is, how affected are we by the pains and the pleasures that our environment issues to us? Again, this is not a video to criticize those who work very hard in order to get approval from others, or even people pleasers in general. But what I do find is that often people pleasers don't want to be people pleasers. They want to free themselves from the slavery to their own emotions. And that sort of self-liberation is something I can wholeheartedly support. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with working hard, but there's a difference between working hard because you really enjoy it versus working hard because somehow it got bound into your identity at one point and you're afraid deep down that if you don't work hard, now you're unworthy. You see, it's a whole different lower vibration. So let's wrap up with a quote. about watching your energy. It comes from Vadim Zealand, author of Reality Transurfing, and it goes like this. When you arrive at work, detach yourself. Give of your head and hands, but do not give away your heart. The work pendulum wants all the energy you can give it, but you did not come into the world simply to work for a pendulum. I know the word pendulum here is being used in somewhat of a unique context, but the meaning, I think, can be inferred from the context. And if it's still confusing, you can check out my other video that summarizes that entire book. Link is going to be above. But for the rest of the week, let's stay focused on what's driving us and to be proud of what's driving us rather than ashamed of what may be driving us. Thank you for watching and listening. Share this video if it was helpful. And last but not least, think deeply and put your existence first.